Later, this is Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and welcome back to another episode of Mega Man X3. In the last episode, we went through a stage that was rather gray, one might say, but we got to use the ride armor for the first time, and we defeated a rather pattern-based flying boss. But before we move on to the next stage, there's some unfinished business to take care of in Blizzard Buffalo stage. And I'm not going to bother with the cut because it's pretty close to the beginning. Just progress through the stage as normal, avoiding or destroying the missile lip guys. Come up here, and guess what? Now that we have ride armor, we can actually do something with this platform. Press Y to confirm your selection, which I'd always thought was kind of backward. It should be B to confirm and Y to cancel, but for whatever reason it's the other way around. And voila! You are piloting a ride armor! Yep, now that we have ride armor, we can actually get it from these platforms anytime we see them, which is pretty convenient. There are actually 4 different ride armors in this game, and you can get any of them from those platforms once you have the proper icon for them. Though you do need to get this first one before you can use any of the other 3. Like I said before, I really like how X3 did its ride armor system. So what do we need the ride armor for? Why, to get through these ice blocks, of course. Punch them and you will destroy them in one hit. Why ice would explode, I'm not really sure, but whatever. Once we get down here, we can get the heart tank for the stage. Okay, now, I must admit something. Technically, you don't actually need the ride armor to get down there. You do need something to break those ice blocks, but actually, Tunnel Rhino's weapon, the Tornado Fang, will do it just as well. It takes a bit longer, but it's still very viable. Which means that technically, I could have come to this stage immediately after Tunnel Rhino's stage and still gotten that heart tank. At least, had I not completely forgotten that you could do that. As well as about that heart tank in general. But in any case, we exit the stage, get a password screen that I don't need, and now we can actually move on to our 5th Maverick. We've defeated half of them now, that's some good progress. Next up is Crush Crawfish, whose stage seems to have a bit of a harbor motif. I like to do this one 5th for a couple of reasons. One of them being that if you're actually using special weapons, even though I'm not, this guy's special weapon is what I would consider to be the best one in the game. And besides that, this is a good stage to come to after getting the ride armor because you'll need that ride armor for a few of the items in this stage, and it's a perfect opportunity to show it off, or use it, or whatever. Come up here, don't get shot, and you can get a bit of extra sub-tank energy. And we will indeed have to revisit this stage, even though I do have some of the things required for the items. I don't have all of them. But we'll worry about that when we come to it. For now, it's ride armor time again. Yes, let's punch everything. Actually, this stage is really pretty easy overall, so I don't really need to punch everything, but... Oh yeah, take note of this platform right here. It'll be important later. Even though that technically hit X in the head, not the ride armor, it still only takes damage from the ride armor. And the red enemy falls through the floor and kindly destroys it for us. Whatever. So this is why we need the ride armor in this stage. Drop down here, 2 levels, make sure to hold right, and this wall is cracked. Punch through it, and there's the heart tank for this stage. As far as I know, you do in fact need the ride armor to get through that. I don't think the Tornado Fang does it. We also get to find out that red enemies cannot turn around. Shoot them in the butt. Also down here, that's not a bottomless pit. Another cracked wall, and I think you actually do need the ride armor for that one as well. I guess I could try the Tornado Fang. Yeah, it just bounces off. And if you're wondering why I'm not getting that, well, once again, it's something that we will cover later. Right now, it's just time to progress through the stage. Another sub-boss room, and nobody to fight this time. The stage doesn't have an actual sub-boss, so... Okay, yeah, that one's an actual pit. Destroy him, and hey, it's life energy. And it's a fake floor! That is a teleporter to a bit of a secret mini-stage that I am not going to deal with just yet. I'll get to it eventually, like I said before. But for now, time to go back up through the false floor. Also, these green guys here, They are annoying. They are annoying because you can't hit them when they're ducked down like that. At least you can't hit them with uncharged shots if you're on the same level as him. You need to charge. And of course, if they put them in the same room as those crab enemies, you do not need to charge. So, nothing too threatening, but a little annoying. Just rapid fire that guy, and go over here, jump over him, and once again, shoot him in the back. And now we have conveyor belts, and more missile-lit guys. Take the top path here, because do that, and have the tornado fang to break through this wall, and that, yes, that is 2 extra lives right there. And they actually respawn every time you die, which makes Crush Crawfish's stage a really good one for farming. I don't think any other stage in the game actually has more than 1 extra life, if that. I can't immediately think of any that even have 1. Also come over here, and if you need some sub-tank energy, you can get a little of that as well. Most of the floor here is spikes, so best to just stay on the conveyor belts. Stay where you know that you can have safe ground. That is not safe ground. Yeah, you can't shoot those backwards, so you suck. Another sub-boss door? Yeah, but it doesn't lead to an actual sub-boss. It leads to this thing, and I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be. But we have to shoot it, which seems to be the case for pretty much everything in Mega Man games. Shooting that causes everything to turn sideways. And it seems like this might have been some sort of submarine, because you can see in the background there that we're apparently underwater now. Now this vertical shaft here, this is actually quite a pain in the butt to climb up if you don't have the vertical air dash. This was definitely designed with that air dash in mind, it seems. It's doable, but in any case, we don't have to worry about it because it's boss time. I'm not too low on health, and I have 4 extra lives, I believe. Oh, only 3. Could have sworn it was 4. Well, in any case, come through here for a fight with Crush Crawfish, and I don't really have a good strategy for him. He's a little bit on the spastic side. But one thing you do want to note in the fight with him is do not stay on the ground for any longer than necessary. Those little brown things he shoots will trap you, in a manner similar to the hula hoops that Bit shoots. Though it does seem to be a little bit easier to get out of his version of them. It's worth noting that while he's shooting his pincher at you, you can't do anything else. But if you're not... The reason you don't want to be on the ground, for one thing, he can do that. But also, if he gets close to you, he can grab you with his pinchers and take off a ton of health. So, try to avoid that happening. You can mash buttons to get out of the grabby rope things that he shoots, though. Oh, also, pay attention to his health, because once he gets down to a little, about, well now, maybe a third or less, you can actually dash backward very quickly. Yeah, like that. Don't stand behind him on the ground. Get the heck out of there. I don't think he can dash forward, but... Okay, good. He did not get a chance to claw me to death. That actually went relatively smoothly. A fight with him that I had in my outtakes, not so much. But we've defeated Crush Crawfish, and we get his lovely weapon, as we'll find out in a minute. We get to turn a nice shiny red, and we get a sort of spirally thing. You get Spinning Blade, which does not at all resemble anything that Crush Crawfish actually did in his boss fight, but it's actually a pretty useful weapon. Has some decent vertical range to it. Only takes 1 unit of ammo, though I guess most X-Series weapons do, at least in the 16-bit ones. Has not terrible horizontal range either, I suppose. And it fires out 2 shots, so for enemies that don't have invincibility frames like those red enemies, you can actually kind of spam it and destroy them pretty quickly. And the thing is reasonably powerful. I like the spinning blade. But in any case, that is 5 bosses down, and we'll move on to our 6th in the next episode. So, I'll see you then.